Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 12 of All the Mods 3 Remix. I am here on something that I built between episodes to tell you we've got a big episode today. We're going to do Blood Magic, Integrated Dynamics, and Woot. Let's get started. Woot. Yes, I built this. This is yet another mod. This is environmental tech, same as my solar panel over here, which I've upgraded to level 3 in the past. Now I built a level 3 personal nanobot beacon. This is something that gives you buffs, just for existing and feeding it lots of power. This is taking 1,152 RF a tick, because I made it large and gave it lots of... I'm not even using all of them. This one's blank. So is that one. So I have some extra upgrade room. But I have here a couple regen modifiers. I think I've got 3, because it's level... Yeah, there's 3. Because this is a level 3, and the most you can have any of these... modifiers is 3, whatever the tier is. I'll probably take it up higher so I can bring those regens up even higher. But then I filled it out with some other things. I got a luck, I've got some health boosts. What's this one? Resistance. It's mostly just here for the regen, though, and a strength. Because when doing blood magic, being able to regen quickly, that's a good thing. So I'll probably, in some of my testing, I think I might want to make this tier 4 at least. But it's good for now. Alright, so what are we going to do? Like I said, we're going to do blood magic, we're going to do some integrated dynamics, and we're going to do Woot. And we're going to put these all together. Now, I didn't know that Woot could integrate with blood magic, but it can. So that'll be fun to do something new. I guess the first thing I'm going to do, I'll just do it here on the stairs, is snares. We need snares. Let's make a bunch of these. Let's make like 4 batches. Why not? This is the first thing you want to do for blood magic, is make these rudimentary snares. And the way I'm going to use them is I've put a zombie in my mob farm here. I'm going to turn it on. Oops, I just used one of my snares. Now I've turned off the mob grinder here. So we'll just grow up a few of these guys. Oh, we got one on a chicken. One more batch should do it. There we go. Alright, turn it off. Open the door and fly in here. Come here, guys. We're going to snare you. I think I got them all. Oh, look, there's one. This is what we're after. Demonic wills. That's a 4, and that's a half. But this is a quick way I found to get up a whole lot of demonic will. Let's close the door before we turn it back on again. We'll do one more batch. Now, some of these were getting sucked up by the system, and they'll be down in that crate down there. Two more batches. One more batch. Alright. Come here, guys. Alright, let's see how many more we got. In testing this, I think I already had some down here, but oh yeah, we got lots. Far more than we actually need. In fact, I think I only need 1 right now. I'm going to toss these into this system. They should get sorted to the various storage drawers. Lots of good stuff in there. Alright, so now that I've got one of these, we can make the blood altar. That's the first thing we need, and then we need, from blood magic, there is a dagger. Where's the dagger? There it is. And make one of these. And now let's go put it in the room that I'm going to assign to blood magic in the new base. Let's go back to the new base. Definitely haven't finished there. I did a first crack, so let's hop over. Where we left off last time, I had a hallway, an intersection, and a room. I now have 6 rooms, if we ever get there. There we go. Let everything load in. So I haven't finished out here. This is going to be like a control room with a view towards the planet. Got these little speed-up hallways. So yeah, these are going to be the rooms. I've got the screens from extra utilities. I made some icons. This is Botania Room. Color-coded green. That's going to be where we're going to be working, in the blood magic room. That room is not yet assigned to anything. This one will be for bees and bunnies. Yeah, for some reason, bunnies and hamsters have appearing. And squirrels. I've got a squirrel infestation. This will be a main processing room for just machines and such. And this will be the AE system room. So that's the basic layout to start. But let's go into the blood magic room. I have done a little bit of work in here. Ta-da! Yeah, it's not much yet, but everything I've got in here is designed around the blood magic altars. The altar has parts of it that stick up in the corners, and those will be embedded inside these pillars. There's room inside. And if we take the elevator down here to the basement, you can see that this is where the pyramid will be underneath the ground, with some of the parts sticking up through these holes into those columns you saw. So the altar is going to go right here, which we can access it from above. So let's go back up there, in fact. There we go. And it's like hidden here in the floor. And if we stand near it and we use this dagger, you can see it filling up with blood down there. Now the regen I have on that environmental tech nanobot beacon, fills up my life, my health, pretty quickly. It looks like I can go about once a second. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Without any danger. Now that's probably full. It is full. So, once it's full, we're going to need some stone. And you put a stone in, and it'll use up some of the blood. You can see it going down in the bar there at the top of the screen. How far does it go down? So it went down about, like, 1/8. But then you right-click with an empty hand, and you get a blank slate. We can use those, 2 of those, with a blood orb. Oh, we need to make a weak blood orb, probably. This guy. Diamond. Grab a diamond. Pop that on there. How much blood does that take? See it going down. Then we'll put another stone on there. Make our first rune. It's going to take about the same amount, or a little bit more. If it finishes now, it'll be about the same amount. Now we can start speeding this up by making customized runes. takes a little bit more. And then I'm going to have some control equipment here in these machines using integrated dynamics. Because I don't have to do this manually. This is the future. We have to do it automatically. There we go. And put another stone on. So that will let us make the runes. Let's get one more of these. We can make a rune. There it is. So use these to make a rune. Blank rune. And the blank rune can be turned into speed runes. That'll make it run faster. I might use that for my first one. Just takes another pair of blank slates and some sugar to upgrade it. But there's more. There's Rune of the Orb. I forget what that one does. I think it fills the orb faster, maybe. Rune of Capacity, it can hold more blood. Self-sacrifice, you get more blood for pricking yourself. Displacement rune, that lets you pipe blood in faster. We will definitely be using those later. Charging rune. Rune of Sacrifice, when you're sacrificing other mobs. We'll need a few of these tanks later on. Clear Mimic Block. Opaque Mimic Block. There are other runes that require higher levels of the blank slates. I'm going to go ahead and make a few more of these. No, we don't. I don't need to make them yet. I think we can go ahead and... Whoa, did that crate just change? No, it didn't. I just did a cut. I built everything and then found a better way to do things. So I'm going to re-record what I just showed. As you can see, there's some holes here I dug just to make it easier to set things up. And this is a little bit bigger. That is for later, or for reference if I need it. Okay, let's start putting all this together. What we're going to do is set up integrated dynamics to control all the processing in the blood altar. So we're going to need a few things. We're going to need an item exporter that it exports from the integrated dynamics network and into the altar. So this is going to push things into the altar. It is exporting into the altar. And over here we have an importer that imports from the altar. And we're going to attach some cables to these and hook them to each other. And then we're going to need a fluid reader to read how much fluid is in there. And we'll hook that one up as well. And then we need an inventory reader to see if there's any items in the altar. Okay, those are all hooked up. And they are going to... Let's drop down here. We can run straight back to that. Okay. For that, I'm going to put the Materializer there. The variable store here. Yes. We've got a whole bunch of these iron storage boxes. We'll put one there, and one there, and one there. This is going to be our input to the system of raw materials. This is going to be our output. So they both need to be connected to the item network, like that and that. Connect them to the network. This one I'm going to lower its priority, and this one I'm going to raise its priority. That way, anything that gets made will end up in here. It's a higher priority. And anything we're making will be taken from here unless it's also in here, and then it can be taken from there. I guess that's going to be alright. It just created a side effect that I wasn't expecting, but that's alright. I think it'll be fine. Alright, and then we need inventories. I need an inventory on that, and an inventory on that, so we can read what's in them. Hook these up. Alright. Is that everything? I think that is all the connections we need. Actually, I can move this over there and connect that. That's just a little neater, I think. And now we're going to be having a display here and a redstone reader on the top. Because that redstone reader is going to read a potentiometer from Draconic Evolution. Pop that there. And then to hide all these cables in there, I made a facade from Integrated Dynamics. To make it, you put slime around a mineral block, and you get these facades, and then you craft the facade with some other block to change its appearance. So, pop that on there. So this is our input storage box, this is our output, and this controls what we want to make. So, let's work on that part of it first. Alright. So we can see into this crate. There's nothing in there. I made this X. Yeah, it didn't turn out the way I hoped. It's supposed to be red, and I was hoping it would be just fill the whole thing, but it's sort of off in the corner there. But it'll work for now. It's just some object you don't ever encounter. Could make it a piece of andesite or something. It doesn't matter. And I have one blank slate. I'm going to put that in that slot. For Integrated Dynamics, the first slot here is number 0, and this one is slot 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now I have an extra inventory reader. Don't you hate it when you have extra parts? I did move things around a little bit. Should be okay. Should be okay. Alright. Yeah. Inventory reader down here on this lower crate. This is going to be our set of things we want to make. 0 will be the 0 position here on the potentiometer. And 1 will be the first position, the 1 position. So basically whatever this number is, whatever's in that slot is what we want to craft. So here's why we do this in Integrated Dynamics. We're going to go into the storage, or the inventory reader here, and it has all these various things that you can find out about the block it's attached to. Is it full? True or false? Is it empty? True or false? Is it not empty? Which means it's partially full, but not completely full. It is partially full. It's got some stuff in it. It's neither completely full nor completely empty, but it's got something in it. How many different things? How many things in it? 2. How many slots does it have? 45. How many of those slots have something in them? 2. The fill ratio, this is a percentage between 0 and 1. So it's pretty low. This is a list of everything in it. We can only see the first thing, the multi-tile structure, the X. But you see the ... there, there's more. Slot item, you can use this to pick which slot ID. Currently it's looking at slot 0, the first one. If we change that to 1, now it says blank slate, which is in the slot number 1 place. And then these are something that we're not going to have to deal with. So what we want is the list of all the items. So we're going to take these variable cards here. Let's spread some out so I've got them. Take one of these, drop it in here, and it pops over to the side. Well, that's not the one. I want the list. Drop it up here. You can reuse them. So this says type list, shift for info. Doesn't help us here. This is a list of items. So I'll drop that down there. And now we want to get the redstone. So let's break this facade so we can get at... Yeah, there we go. This is the redstone reader. It's pointing up at the potentiometer. You can see if the redstone is low, basically off, which it's not. It's set to 1. Is redstone being emitted? True. Is the redstone all the way up? No, it's in the between. This one, redstone clock, pulses with configurable length and interval. What is the current redstone value? That's it. 1. Take it back down. Oops. Down to 0. Look at that one again. It's at 0. Bring it up to 3. Look at that one now. It says 3. That's the one we want. Pop it in there. This is a number of whatever that is. Now these are live. They're always showing the current values that they were programmed to have. Alright, so now I've got in my inventory the Portable Logic Programmer. I'm going to open that up. Here we have all sorts of stuff that we can do to these things. We want to take an item from this list for this integer. Now, let's drop this list into our display. And it's hard to see here. Let's see if I can... I guess I could break that one. Can you see it there? Let's move this. Let's move it right over here so I can get up close to it. So pop that back in there. Now we can see. This is a list of everything in this crate, starting there. The X, the multi-tile structure. And the second one is the blank slate in position 1. Position 0, position 1. And all the other positions are actually in the list as just empty items. So it's a long list of items, but only the first 2 have something in them. And this is 3, the current value of the potentiometer, which we can bring down to 0. Yep, it said 0. So now we've looked at those. We know that they're working. Let's go back up. Put that back. So now we're going to go in here, and what we want to do is extract an item from this list at that position. So for that, we want one of 2 functions here, either get or the get or default. Get or default, we'd put the list in there. We'd put in which one we want. And then, let's say this list only had 2 things in it, and we asked for item number 3. Well, there's no third item in a list of only 2 items. So, whenever that error happens, it would give me this item, whatever we put here. But this always has, I think, 47 items in it, with the full number of slots in the chest. Even if those slots are empty, there's 47 items in this list. This can only go up to 15. So we don't really need to use this one. We can use the simpler get one. We say list, give me the item. And now to create this, we drop one of these over here, and now it is changed. It says it is a type of list. It's the operator get. It was given a list as an input and an integer, and its output type is any. In this case, because the list is a list of items, it is an item. And that is the item we want to extract from the altar. I'm going to make 2 of these, because we're going to put 1 in the display. There's an error, that's fine. We'll get to that in a moment. And the importer over here has an import item, and that is the item we want to import. And we have errors there. So why do we have all these errors? Well, that's because if you hover over this, it says variable IDs 5960. Its own variable ID is 62. Every time you make one of these blank cards into a specific card, it gets a new ID. You can see it's up to 62. I've made a lot of them. But this is ID 62, and it needs 59 and 60. It's going to look at the list, number ID 59, in the position integer, ID 60, to get its own value. So it's meaningless unless it knows what's in those 2 variables. Those variables are sitting here in my inventory where it can't see them. This is 59, this is 60. So we have to put them somewhere where it can find out what's in them. And that's what this block down here is, the variable store. Big empty space. Once we put them here, now they're connected to the same network. That works. You see there's a faint X there because we have it set to the 0 position. Let's go to 1, and now it's showing the blank slate item. And it has the 1 there because there is exactly 1 of them here. What I'm going to do is do things like put 2 in the next slot, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, so that when we switch to them, 1, 2, it shows 2 of those pipes. If there is just 1 in there, then that number is not the number of this thing. It's how many are in the stack. But we can tie it to the display by just changing the count. And if there's nothing there, it displays nothing. Alright, well, let's set it to 1, because that's where we're going to need it. And I think we're done in there, so I'll put the facade back. So now, if we get some more stone... Where's my stone? There it is. Put a piece in. It's going to process. As soon as it's done processing, it will get pulled out, because that's what we have selected. Poof, it's gone. And we look in our output chest, there it is. Now if we were to set this to our 0 slot, put another piece of stone in here, it will not get pulled out. See? It just stays in there, because it's trying to pull out X's. That doesn't exist. But as soon as I set it to 1, it's gone. And it's also been added to the output. So that works. But now, what I want to be able to do is to put in stone over here and have it export it to the altar. But how are we going to do that? Well, that is going to be a little bit more complicated to do it the way I want to do it. Basically, this is the thing that's going to be pushing things into the altar. I want to tell this thing what item to push into the altar. And I want to make sure I go in here. These are the settings. Each of these things has some settings. Here you can see there's a whole bunch of different settings for the export of one item. And the thing I want to do is say, don't transfer a whole stack to just one. None of the other ones have to change. So I'm going to tell it what to push, and I want it to push only one. So actually, I don't think I need to do that, because that is the upper limit. When I pass it, yeah, I don't transfer rate. Let's put that back to 64. I'm curious. I might not need to change it, the way I'm going to program this. All right, so now there may be more than one thing in here. There may be multiple different types, but I only want it to output one item at a time. And the way I've decided to do that is to get the list of everything in there. Alright, here's our list of items. Give me that list. Now let's look at the list. Let's just go ahead and we can just use this one. Take that out for a moment, put this in. Yep, there it is. Just like before, it's a list of every slot in here. But we don't want all those blank lines. So let's go into our editor here. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of those blank lines. The first thing we could do is, just for an example, go down here to the list section, and there's this unique, sort of truncated in its name. If you give that a list and make a new card with that operation. So this is our list of items. This is that same list passed through the unique function. Put that in here. What do we see? Oh, we don't see anything because we have to put the variable card of this guy in here. Now look at that. It says stone, variable card, and blank. So it got rid of all the extra blanks, but it still kept one. Well, I don't want any blanks in there, because that's going to throw things off. So let's take this back out again. And take out this unique. And you can take a card and craft it to clear it back out again. So, before we do the unique, I could do the tail operator. Well, I can use the slice. This will let you take a piece of the list. But that blank could be anywhere in the list. If I do that, then when I say unique, the first blank will be here. So it'll be stone, blank, variable card. And if it's like this, it'll be blank, stone, variable card. The blank could be in any position. It always gets rid of all the later ones and keeps the first of a specific type. So I want to get rid of all of them, regardless of the position. So here's the way I'm going to do it. It's not the only way. The nice thing about programming, and the thing that sort of draws me to it, is that there are so many different ways you can do something. That's why I like modded Minecraft. There's so many different ways you can do something. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, let's see, I need to make a blank item. So we're going to come up here to item and make a blank item. I didn't put any items in here. This is just a blank item. And then I'm going to go down to the list operations, and I am going to concat. Can I concat with that and that? No, they're the wrong type. What was it that I did? Let me look at my cheat sheet over here. So that is our list of items. Okay, I concatted it with a blank list. Oh, okay, here I have a list. Oh, that's right. I remember how I did this. So I don't want this item. Get rid of it. We have our list of items. If we go into this crate and we take out everything that's in it, and then we look at its inventory thing here, and we scroll down, we have a list of items that is blank. So make this. We can't use this as is, because as soon as I put, this is a blank list, right? If we go over to our display and look at it, everything's blank. But as soon as we put things in there, it's not blank anymore. You can see it has something at the top. It's got the stone. If we put it in the down here, there, you can see it moved down the list. I don't want it to change. I want it to always be blank. So let's take it out. And what we're going to do, while the chest is actually empty, we go to this guy down here. This is the Materializer. So we put our blank, currently blank list. This is a live list that is blank. Put a card here. This is a non-live blank list. Take this out. This we can actually destroy. Don't need it anymore. We've turned it into permanent. So now if I go and I put this permanent blank list in here, it's blank. If I put some stone in, it does not show up on this list. It's no longer live. It is Memorex. So we've got a list that is blank. Where are we? Here we go. Concat. So we take the blank list and the live list of what's in there. We put this one first. So the end result will be a whole bunch of blank lines and then whatever's in the crate. Blank stuff in any order, in any combination, doesn't matter. That gives us a really long list. Get this stuff out of the way. Now we can do the unique on this list. Now because I've put a whole bunch of blank lines at the beginning, when we do the unique, the first blank line, which is guaranteed to be the first thing in the list, will be the only blank line. Okay? So now we've got this new concatenated list. So I've got to go and put these three in here, or those two in there, so we can look at this one. That did not work. Did I forget to actually make it? I think I forgot to make it. Okay, that's concat list. Sorry. Go back down here to the unique. I forgot to actually make the unique. Unique. List. Make it. Okay. That goes in here. Error, because I need to put all the pieces it relies on. The original list, or the blank list, the original list, the concatenated. Oh, there's nothing in there. Okay, there we go. So there's always going to be a blank at the beginning, and then whatever else is in this crate. It doesn't matter where this is in here. There's always the blank is always going to be the first item. All right. Now, go back down to the list items here. We can say, oh, we need to make two new things. We need to make some integers. We need to make 1, and let's do 100. It's way too big, that's fine. So this was a value of 1, and this is a value of 100. So now we come back down to our list to slice. Slice takes a subset of the given list from the given index, inclusive, to the given index, exclusive. Remember, the lists start counting at 0. So we're going to take from 1 to 100. So basically we're going to cut off the first item. So here's our list. From 1 to 100. That's our new list. So we put these into here. And look at our new list. Stone. Nothing. Stone and a variable card. Variable card and stone. Doesn't matter where these are in the inventory. It doesn't matter if there's multiples. We just get the two items. The order that they're in depends on which one comes first. Stone, variable card. But now it's just whatever's in there. Nice and clean. What was this guy? Don't need this guy. So, we only want to put in one item at a time, so there's one more operation we need to do. Back to the list stuff. There is a pre-made thing here called head. You put the list, and it gives you the first thing in the list. First item in the list. Again, now that we've using our list, we've got to put it in here. Now we look at this. Stone. 62. Yep, there's 62 stone in there. Even if we split them, it'll still say... No, okay. It says whatever size the first stack is. But we only want to put one in there. We have to do another operation. What we want to do, it's near the bottom, I think, size. Width size. So this one sets the stack size for the given item. This item, whatever the stack size is, we want to change it to just 1. And we actually have a 1 in our variable thing here. So let's go and do this. Width size. Here's our stack. Size 1. Give us the new modified item. And we'll put these in there. So, look at this. Stone. 1 stone. Doesn't matter how many stacks we've got in there, it's always going to say 1 stone. Doesn't matter where it is in there, it's going to say 1 stone. If there's something else in there first, put 16 variable cards, 1 variable card. Whatever's the first item he comes through, it's going to put 1 of that item into the altar. That is what I wanted. Oh, all right. Here's a problem. See, it's got an error. Try to get the head of a list of length 0. It happened when I took the stone out briefly. So let's take this out. Once it errors, it's not going to come back. So we need to do a bit of safety. Basically, I'm going to have to go back a step here. So here's our list with the head. This is our head with size, and this is the full list. So we've backed up a little bit. This is our list without the blank items. This is just the first item. If this list is empty, then this will break. So, we're not going to use the head. I wish the head didn't have that problem, but it does. So let's go into here, and we're going to make a new object, an item, that's blank. We made one of those before, but didn't use it. Now we may use it. So we have a blank item. These two are going to be reused. So we have a list, a blank item, and I'm going to get a new integer of 0. Yes. Alright, so instead of give me the first item with head, we're going to use the getter default. So here's our list, which might be blank. We want slot 0, the first item in the list. But if the list is empty and there is no slot 0, give me a blank item. And we'll reuse this, and that's our result. So let's put these in here and check that. No error. It's just blank. And then as soon as we put something in, 62. Oh, we still have to do the size. So let's get that 1 value. Here it is. Size, with size. This is our item stack. We want just 1 of the item. Reuse this. Put that away and start a new column there. This should be it. 1 stone. Take everything out. It's just blank. 1 stone. Put something else in here. It's still 1 stone because 1 stone is the first. 1 of those. Take that out. 1 stone. Alright, that's what we want. It is done. So, how do we get it to actually put it in here? That's easy. Now that we've got this item, I'm going to put it in here and craft it with a blank. And that will copy it. So now we have 2 that are the same. Put 1 in here for display purposes. And over here, put 1 in this slot. It just put a stone in there. And that went blank. Oh, because I only had 1. Oh, it put the whole stack in there. Come on, give it to me. Thank you. See, it put all 62. That's why I was wondering if I needed to set the item transfer rate down to 1. I could do that, or I could set this exact amount to true, I think. That means when this is telling you to put in exactly, even though there's 62 in here, put in 1, it should, nope, it didn't. It put in 62. Alright, I wanted to test that. So item transfer rate, 1. Exact amount. Put that back to false since it didn't work. So now with the item transfer rate set to 1, it'll transfer only 1 at a time. Oh, you know, I forgot something. It'll keep putting 1 in there. Just to prove it. Toss it in. There's 1 stone, 2 stone, 3 stone, 4. You see, it keeps putting them in. That's not what we want. We don't want it to put something in there if there's already something in there. So we need to make some changes to this guy. It is not done yet. And since they're both the same, I'm going to clear one of them. So we're only going to use this one. Well, we have our stack, our item, but we want to make use of these 2. This reads to see if there's anything in there. If the inventory is empty, and go over here to the tank, we can see how much fluid is in there and how much it holds. I just want how much is in there. Yeah. And we're going to make a new integer of, let's make it 5,000. Just for the moment. So this is how much fluid is in the tank. This is the number 5,000. And this is it empty? True or false? Let's put these together. First, we want to find out if the amount in the tank is greater than 5,000. True or false? And then we want to AND. This is a logical AND. If it's true and true, then the answer is true. Anything else, true and false, false and true, false and false, result in false. So we want the tank to be greater than 5,000, and we want it to be empty. And if both of those are true, then this card is true. Okay? Now we go down here near the bottom to this question mark one. Question mark takes a true or false. True or false? Oh, we need to do one more thing. We need to make a blank item. Item. Give me a blank item. Oop. Put it down here. Don't put anything there. This is now a blank item. This is the item we want to craft, or put in the altar, and this is a blank item. And this is a question. Let's go back down to our, that's a true or false. So, if it's true, give us the item. If it's false, give us a blank item. That is our final result. And I'll just go ahead and make 2 of them, because I know I need 2 of them. Alright, let's go load these into the variable store. How much is in the tank? 5,000. Is it greater than 5,000? Is it currently empty? And both of those together. That's the item, and then that is the blank item, and then these are our end result. Actually, the item was stack size. Let's go ahead and make a copy of that one. And so we got 2 of those. Get rid of this one. And put one of these back. Because I want to keep using the display here of what we want to craft. So there's nothing in the crates yet. Go ahead and put it to stone in there, so it should say 1 stone. Yes. And over here, we now have this one that will show the 1 stone, or if there is not enough room, if there's something already in the altar, or there's not enough blood, it'll be blank. So let's toss it in. So it just put in 1 stone, and it's stopping there. Because there's something in there, it won't put anything else in. And that's using up the blood. As soon as it drops below 5,000, it won't be able to put anything else in there, even once this one is removed, which it just was. Nothing else is going in there because the blood level is too low. So if we add a bit more blood, or 1 more click, we'll get it over 5,000. Aha! There's a new stone. Now let's keep putting a lot of blood in there so it will still have over 5,000 when it's done. And I put a new one in. As soon as the result was taken out and it was empty, it still had over 5,000 blood. Both conditions were true, so it evaluated to that stone. Look at that. All automatic. And then when it runs out of blood, it stops. That is exactly what I wanted it to do. And all the outputs should be going into this box over here. Yep, there they are. Oh, you know, this isn't supposed to be... I erased... Yeah, this isn't supposed to be what we're putting in. That was just for testing purposes. What I wanted that to show is what we're pulling out. I want a copy of this one. So let's clear this one and make a copy of that one. So this is what I want you to pull out, and that's what I want to display over here. Yeah, because this is what we're dialing to make. Not what we're currently putting in. And now that the blood is below 5,000, it is stopped, even though we have more stone. All I got to do is use this little thing, which the amount of regeneration I've got, I can do it once a second. Nothing is happening. Variable with ID 74 cannot be found within the current network. Oh, I destroyed the wrong one. That's the problem with having a copy. This guy. And I need to recreate the last one again. No, I don't have to recreate it. Put these back in. Let's see, what was this guy? 74. It uses 82, 74, and 83. if we look in our variable store, we have 82, 86, and 83. 82, 84, 83. So it's this one. Yeah, so I do need to take these out. This is the one I had a copy of, and unfortunately it was looking at the copy and not this one. Interesting. Even though the one card was in the display here, that counts as being in the network, and so it could use it. So it wasn't using the one I had in here. That's okay. I can make a new final. I can recreate this guy from these three. So just reuse it here. And now it's working off of 82, 86, and 83. 82, 86, 83. Okay, good. These all exist in the system. And here. It's working again. Alright, that was complicated, but hopefully you followed everything there. And that covers pretty much everything I did in here. So, I can go ahead and cover up the floor here, and just every second or so, maybe set up an auto clicker, go watch a movie, put a whole bunch of stone in there, and I will have tons and tons of these things to start with. But you know, I've already done some of that. I have some speed runes I made. 8 of them. It just uses these guys. No big deal. Let's go ahead and put them around the base there. Now this is a tier 2 altar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to that so it doesn't pull anything out. Now, let's put some blood in there. This should process a second time. There it is. And now we've got the tier 2. So if we go ahead and put it into this crate in the second slot, and then click that to say we want to make those, it won't pull out the first stage piece. See, it's leaving it in there. Now it'll process a second time. There it goes. And we should get another one of the imbued slates. Or reinforced. What is the second one? Reinforced. And like I said, I want to put 2 of those in. So this is 1, this is 2. Now it should say 2. Go back to the first, it says 1, 2. Very nice. Now you can see how that works. When I make the third level, I'll put 3 of them in there, so it shows a 3. That way I can always tell which one I am, because those icons are not too clear. Especially the 3 and the 4. This is sort of a teal, sort of a greenish blue, or blue, yeah. A bluish green. And then the third one is sort of a greenish blue. It's very similar. So having a number change is a good idea. So I can tell that is a tier 2 slate. Of course it stopped because this is below 5,000. Very good. Alright, so I'm going to make a whole bunch of those. I'm going to start filling out the platform down below. And, you know, actually, let's skip some of that and go on in Blood Magic. There's, to keep building the next tier up. Actually, I don't need to do it. I've already done a lot of it already. Rune. I've got a lot of blank runes. Let's get some here. 2 stacks that I've already made. And let's place them to make this tier. And if I break some of these here, you can see there's a block of glowstone right up inside the pedestal. And with these in place, we should have a tier 3 altar. Okay, I can come up over here, I forgot. I've got a hole. So now, let's take this back down to nothing. And let's go ahead and put one of these in just to save a little bit of time. First, let's blood it up. Oh, it's going in and put this. That's fine. Put that back. So there, it brought it up to tier 1. It's working on tier 2. There's tier 2. Since I set it down there so to the X so it doesn't pull out anything, it's going to go ahead and bring tier 3. Imbued slate. So this is the one that goes in the next slot. See how similar they look? So tier 1, 2, 3. Really hard to tell them apart. So it'd be good to get a couple of the, 2 more of those, so it has a 3 under it. That way I know it's a tier 3. Alright, let me get ready for the next step, and I'll be right back. You know, we're coming up on an hour. Normally I'd end here, but times being what they are, let's go a little longer, like I've done in some previous episodes around this time. Let's put down the Hellfire Forge, put in glass, gold, lapis, redstone, and some demonic will. And that should give us a petty Tataric gem. Now I want to make the sentient sword. For that I need an iron sword. Do I have one? I do. Did I just put that in here? Yep, there we go. That doesn't take any will. Sentient sword. Now, let's go use this sucker. And we'll run downstairs to the mob farm. I think the zombies are still loaded. They are. I should probably turn it off. Oh, we got a whole bunch of these things. Lots of demonic will. Alright, that's faster than using the snares. So let's go back up. Alright, the next step, now that we've made that sword, we want to make, it's not the sentient sword, the bound. Let's see. Here we go. Bound blade. Bound blade. Alchemy array. So we need a binding reagent and a diamond sword. Binding reagent in the Hellfire Forge. It takes 400 will. Don't think I've got that much yet. Glowstone, redstone, gold nugget, gunpowder. Well, we need 400 will. It only uses 10, but we have to have 400. Now, I just got a bunch of will, but it's not going to be enough. So, let's go ahead and make another... Actually, let's make 2 of the mini gems. That's the glass, lapis, and gold. And we'll grab a whole bunch more will. Alright, so toss these in. Some will. That was exactly one, and it's used up. Let's make another one. So now we're going to use this one in the Hellfire Forge with a diamond, block of lapis, block of redstone. Block of lapis. Block of redstone. And a diamond. So diamond, lapis, redstone, and this guy. And how much does that take? Oh, wrong button. It takes 60. I wonder if I have 60. Let's see here. See, what was the way to get it into the gem? I think you just have to hold the gem when you pick these up. Yep, that's it. Yep, see, the gem now has a little bit in it. So let's go ahead and get all that will that I picked up. See if it'll be enough. Yeah, that just about filled this up. Ooh, just shy. All right, let me run over, get some more, and come back. And I'm back. I went ahead and put sharpness 5 on this sentient sword. Makes it run a lot faster. All right, toss that in there, and we should be able to upgrade. There we go, a lesser tartaric gem. And I think I can now right-click, yeah, and dump all of that into here. This one, how much can this one hold? Doesn't say. But it looks it's about 10%. I think this one will hold enough. But I'm going to have to go kill a whole bunch more using this new tougher sentient sword, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. Well, that was disappointing. I filled it up, but it only holds 254. So we've got to do another upgrade. Put all these in. Make a new petty. Take the petty. Put that in. Make the lesser. Put the lesser in with one of these imbued slates. And that. Probably take the big one here. Alright, there's the common. And again, we can just hold the mouse down on these, transfer them over. It's now got 200. That's definitely going to hold enough. But I have to go kill some more. Good thing I repaired the sentient sword. Well, I had to repair that blade twice, but still, I left it in the repairer. Redstone, glowstone, gold nugget, and gunpowder, and this guy holds 1,000. He's got plenty. Toss him in there, and we make binding reagent. That's the stuff we need. I also need to make arcane ashes. Arcane ashes and Hellfire Forge. Redstone, bone meal, gunpowder, coal. Redstone, gunpowder, coal, and bone meal. Put these in. Can I get away with a little guy? I can get away with a little guy. There we go. And the last thing I need is a diamond sword, which I do not have. So let's make the diamond sword. Alright, I think this is how we go about this. We put down the arcane ashes, hit it with the binding reagent, and then hit it with the sword. I totally need to make something on the floor to put these things when we make them. A little decoration. Boom! We have the bound blade. Now I did make a orb, didn't I? But I have not bound it to myself. Which means if I turn this thing on, it's going to start hurting me. But fairly slowly, and my shield covers it. So, let's head home. And go back to the same room I've been spending time in. I'll pick up my sentient sword on the way. It's over here under the diamond anvil. So let's head down to the zombie room, because that's handy. Turn the zombies on, run inside. Turn the blade on. I think I saw one. Yes, weak blood shard. Let's get a few more here real quick while we're at it. I know I'm clicking way too often, but it actually... I tried timing the swings, but with this many zombies, it actually seemed to clear them out faster when I just clicked like mad. Alright, that's good enough. Turn it off. Turn that off. And I can turn off the bound blade now so it doesn't hurt me anymore. And throw away all the loot that we don't need. Destroy these books, because I've got so many of them now. Alright. I have the weak blood shards. Now, these can be used with any of the stones. Where's my just regular stone? There it is. Weak blood shards, that makes you 16 of these. That's more than enough. These can also be used to make some other things, like the Master Blood Orb. And it's needed for the next level of Tartaric Gem, which requires 1,000. So actually, I may still have enough to do that. Needs a demonic slate, though, so I'm going to need to upgrade to tier 4, which we can do now. Let's run back over there. And then we'll call it an episode, I think. We'll do the one more leveling up of the Blood Altar. Actually, I think this may take it all the way up to what we can do. It turns out they've removed the tier 6. I think I knew that. That was a while ago that happened. When they got rid of the demon invasion. So, these blocks will go up there. No. What's stopping me from putting it all the way up? I guess that is on the inside. I need to move it up one block, I guess. Now I can place it? Yeah, okay, there we go. And I need some more of those white blocks. And get out some more. Oh no, I think I still have them. Yep, I still have them. The blank runes. I'll upgrade these to be not necessarily speed, but one of the other I'll have to calculate exactly how many of each type I'm going to need. Alright, that should bring it up to the next tier. I already have the beacons here. I went ahead and put diamond down so that they're actually functional too, if I want to put something in them. Don't think I need anything, but I have that option. And that should be the highest tier we could do. I can't do this one out here. Whoop. Even though I made the runes for it. What would normally go on the top of those was the demon crystal. I don't think I can make that. At least not in the usual way. Maybe there's a new way. So let me head back up to the top. What I should do is the Divination Crystal to see what level this thing is at now. I need to get up this. Toss these away. Also toss those in. Divination Crystal. Tablet. This thing. So I need to make an Arcane Ashes with Redstone. That's pretty easy. Get out a Redstone. And my Arcane Ashes. Put that down. Hit it with Redstone. Oh, what was the other thing I needed to do? A blank slate. Grab a blank slate. It spins up. Definitely need to make some sort of design. And now with this, I can... Current essence, 0. Yep, because I have not bound this. And I haven't placed it in here. Take that out, put it in. And now when I put some blood in there, see the purple particles show that it's loading that blood into my personal essence. There it goes. See, it's going up. Down there in the text. So now if I activate the bound blade, it won't hurt me. It'll instead use some of that essence. And guess what? It's time to stop there. Longer than usual episode, but a lot of stuff with blood magic, and particularly a lot of stuff in integrated dynamics, which hopefully some of you found useful. And probably some of you were completely bored by it. I apologize for that. It is a bit esoteric, but it's programming, and it's not that hard. When you break it down step by step, you can do a lot of neat stuff, but you sometimes have to think around the problems and look through the list of stuff of what commands you can do. But you can get there. And hopefully this was a useful set of examples that you guys can extrapolate from and use for other projects. I'd love to see what you do. Anyway, till next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, stay healthy, and see you next time.